Hello, hello. No, this is not a drill. You are not being hosted right now by Mass Swan, but me, Nymera. And you will be joined, however, in the game by, of course, the aforementioned Mass Swan, perhaps even now Cast Swan for games 3 and 4. And today we're doing experimenting with our roles, just like many of these LJL teams are experimenting with their rosters. Of course, our play-by-play will still be Sam Initialized. Happy dear brother. Last time we saw this matchup of Burning Core versus Crest Gaming Act, Crest Gaming Act kicked Burning Core out of playoffs with a tiebreaker crushing stomp. So this is the epitome of a revenged match. So Lexi, I'm going to go to you first.
Okay.
What do Burning Core have to do to get revenge today, start off this split with a win?
They needed to do more in preseason in my eyes to really fix that. I don't quite know if really getting rid of a staple of their team, that being Rocky, to be maybe the best move, and moving up a substitute player into their debut match against a revenge match. That seems little bit questionable. I'm really hoping that Rayfarki and Wants can figure it out, and the rest of the team can just follow suit. It would be my suggestion to Burning Core. Would be my suggestion.
Some questions being asked by Mass Swan there. So, initialize. Speaking of this debut, for this new mid laner, Burning Core, of course, have moved up their substitute Yu-Gi-Oh into that mid lane. He's debuting versus Ardia, our
Yeah.
perennial mid lane god here in the LJL. What are your expectations here?
Well, we just saw a hell of a Syndra game versus one of our better mid laners in the league in Gadiadu. There's trials by fire, and then there's this. This is going to be absolutely rough stuff for you.
This is like the Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, this is. I mean, on the other hand, if you come through this and you perform well, then you're set up for success the rest of the split. But you are stepping into big shoes. Rocky has been around for a long time. He's played on some fairly impressive teams. He's no longer here. He's retired, and stepping in, admittedly, to an underperforming role. I grant you that Rocky wasn't having the best splits of his life, but still, this is tough stuff, and Burning Core need Yu-Gi-Oh to be good.
And speaking of replacing Rocky, that long-term mid laner for Burning Core, he was a big Victor player. He was a big LeBlanc player. He played a lot of these different mages. So what are you expecting in terms of Yu-Gi-Oh, in terms of his champion pool? Because obviously Rocky wasn't playing all of the meta champion picks. For Yu-Gi-Oh, how is it going to be like slotting into this meta of the team of Burning Core, and how do you think it might change for them?
I mean, it needs to be adaptable. Full stop. It needs to be able
Can he be molded?
He needs to almost be like Ninja of Rascal Jester, who isn't actually here right now, but that whole idea of basically being able to play 13 different champions, and all relatively well, and in lots of unique spots. I really think if Yu-Gi-Oh is able to do that, I think there's a lot more options for him. Granted, this is against the man who basically only played one champion less than Ninja, Inaria, who has already debuted in the first match saying, I'm going to play a champion I've never played professionally, and win on it against a very, very good player as well. So
Exactly. And speaking of uniqueness, new picks, new everything, Rayfarki, he's our Darius player. He's our top laner for Burning Core. He's going to be going up against Nap. I think we'd all agree that Nap had a very good first game out in the game one versus Axes. So Nap versus Rayfarki, what do you make of that matchup, Sam?
It's going to be an interesting one. I think Rayfarki has shown he's got style, he's got pizzazz, he knows how to play his lanes. His gangplank was always good. There was this kind of preoccupation with the Darius. We know he loves it. We know he loves it in solo queue. It's his favorite champion. It never really worked for Burning Core. But I think, generally speaking, Rayfarki is potentially our second best top laner in the league behind Ebby. There's a few contenders to that throne. Having said that, Nap is very stable and he's very smart. He knows how to play to his win conditions, and we saw it with the Wukong. Fine laning phase, but turns up elsewhere and picks up 3 kills, gets off to a very, very good start. So I give it to Rayfarki as an edge, but it's not like Nap isn't a smart player and can't find ways to be effective.
So, questions on both sides. Nothing is solved, nothing is sorted, but I'm still going to force the issue. Guys, what are your predictions for this match?
well, I mean, no, it's not even that hard. I put Burning Core as my 7th place, well, my 8th place team over on our podcast. So, well, I'm always going to be But giving it to CGA, I just always have to go by my personal tier list, basically.
Okay. And initialize?
Stats would suggest CGA. I am, however, aware that in my predictions game, I did put Burning Core to win this one, specifically because I don't trust CGA to be consistent enough not to throw a stupid fight. Then again, it is versus Burning Core, who are also known for doing that. So I'll have to stick with Burning Core, if only to back myself up. I'm aware, however, that I suspect I'm going to be wrong.
Well, proved wrong you may be, but you may of course be proved right. That is the whole nature of the game. Speaking of the game, I think it's time we got into it. I'll leave you there. Love you and leave you. Enjoy the game, guys.
Well, we're here. He's gone. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Is he actually gone? Are we free? Are we safe
Thank
now?
goodness. It's taken so long, but finally it's just us two, Master.
Oh god, we need to go for a beer out, mate, now that we're alone. Oh god.
Oh man, he's typing in the production.
Oh god,
chat.
he didn't actually disappear, did he?
He's not left. Oh no. All right, well, let's run down some team rosters, shall we? Burning Core on the blue side. It'll be Rayfaki in the top lane, once in the jungle. UJL, that new guy coming into the mid lane, replacing Rocky. And Yuhi and Proud are still in the bot lane.
Okay, and for CGA, we've got that... Oh god, I just saw the Darius ban. Sorry. For CGA, we've got Naf in that top lane. Unica in the jungle. Arya in that mid lane. Gango is there, carry, and Grendel as the support.
That's exactly right. And we've seen the bans that have come through. It's nothing particularly surprising outside of the Darius. It means that Burning Core go towards the Aphelios first pick for Yuhi.
I mean, this is pretty standard, really. I mean, I don't like it. I mean, I think Ezreal should be 100% the pick there if you're going to be B1. I don't know why you wouldn't pick it unless Yuhi is just not confident in that. There's a lot of options on the map still. LeBlanc is still open. I do like the first pick set as he is adaptable and that flex pick that I continuously always harp on about over on our podcast. So, you know, I'm at least happy about that. And oh!
Aha! There it is. The Kalista got through the draft phase, and our resident bot lane Kalista player, Gango, gets his hands on that stellar laning pick right now. And you weren't necessarily the biggest fan of the Aphelios. I'll call the Kalista definitely outlanes the Aphelios right now.
Oh, 100% outlanes it. Also, just... I can't believe they gave Gango the pick of just, well, what do you want? Do you want Ezreal? Do you want Kalista? You can have your pick. Wukong, though, for Rayfaki is definitely kind of in his wheelhouse, and we see once picking up that Echo, most likely, though it could go into that mid lane.
Yeah, flex of the Echo, and we know that the LJL has got a history with jungle Echo, but the Wukong lock-in I really rate, just because of how well Nat played it in the last game. And I think it's just really strong. I know you've been watching a bit of the LPL. I know I have. And Wukong has been a terror, an actual terror over in China. The response is going to be that, can I make remember the name now? Ornn, there we go. Call of the Forge Guard available, lots of CC. Ornn set, Kalista with Call of the Forge Guard. Not Call of the Forge Guard, Fate's Call. Sounds like a lot of ways to start a fight, Maswan.
A lot of ways to start a fight, and it does mean most likely this set is probably now no longer in the top lane, but could be support, could be jungle, could be mid. Granted, this Ornn and set could be swapping places between mid and top.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Set Kalista is a great lane, by the way. Just put that out there. The Fate's Call with Set is really good.
Yes, but we see that Silas getting banned away from Arya, and Grendel is not allowed is not allowed the Nautilus because CGI are saying no to him. He's like, no, you're not allowed to do it. Not even Proud. We're more scared for Proud, really, but this is what we're thinking. Bard comes in for CGA. I think that's a smart ban. We know Proud likes to play these mage supports, but his Rakan's still up, which isn't as good at the moment, though.
It's worth pointing out as well, I believe Proud was a bit of a Bard player out in Korea, actually. Had some really good games on that, if I remember correctly.
I think you're right.
But he was a pretty good Bard player, and that's worth pointing that out. He does like that champion, does good stuff with it. It's taken away. The Vladimir will be another ban there. Arya has also done fairly nasty things on that champion, just taken off the table to remove another element of life that CJ are thinking about running here.
Yeah, and this is really nice because this just leaves them so flexible for when it comes to what are they actually doing, where is this set being played. It's just really hard for them. We're seeing Burning Core now. Proud's going to be playing this Yuumi, and they're not really a Yuumi team. And then this Janna's probably going top to face off against an
Oh,
Ornn.
wow.
Okay, no,
No,
okay,
they're
so that's
thinking about
Lulu
locking in
mid.
the Lulu.
Okay.
It will be Lulu mid
Oh,
with the Wukong top, what looks like an Echo jungle. That will be all on the Aphelios and the Wukong, trying to keep people up and alive as they dive in. It will be
yeah.
Kalista Thresh, looks like the bot lane, which looks like probably a... I mean, it could still be set jungle, could still be set top. Kassadin about to be locked in.
Oh, do it.
Which would be an interesting response. Arya on set sounds pretty exciting to me, Swan.
Okay.
Set jungle, Thresh bot, Kassadin mid.
This team is so sick in so many ways. The thing is, they can actually just play Set as support, or they can they could put Thresh somewhere else if they really felt wild. But I think it's correct that they put Grendel on their normal support. I do think it is better to do that. But this team is just so sick. Set in the jungle, facing off against Echo. Neither of them really outscale each other in the early part. It's going to be in the mid game where Echo's going to have to really find some pick potential, and it's going to be really hard against a Kassadin and an Ornn to really do that.
Yeah, it could be pretty tough. I'm aware that obviously Once and Proud have teamed up before with a Yuumi and a mobility jungler. Having in the face dive on that Echo can definitely mean that those two can dive their way in to get a final chapter all over the squad of CGA. But I'm looking at Kassadin for Arya, and I'm getting a bit nervous for UJO, because if he got punished in that mid lane, free lane for Arya sounds pretty rough to me.
It does sound pretty rough to him. God, I mean, how much of this is falling on to Rayfarki to really find these opportunities for Burning Core on that Wukong? That is the big question for me right now.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I mean, Wukong Yuumi is a pretty good combo. Wukong, the Echo joining in as well. It's Rayfarki, I think, who are going to be starting fights, but is that a surprise to us, really?
Not really, no. I mean, this is where a lot of their fights are fought half the time for Burning Core. So, I mean, it's going to fall on CGA to just kind of give them the answer. God, this is scary to see, though. Arya on this Kassadin. We know that's a ticking time bomb now for Burning Core. Once that Kassadin gets to level 16... it's going to be all over, and this is Arya. They find many ways to get ahead early, and an early aggressive Kassadin getting fed and strong very quickly could spell the demise for a Lulu many times. Yes.
And it's, again, this is another career first for Arya. It was his first career Syndra game last time around. It's his first career Kassadin game this time around. This is a guy who's got 4 picks with over a 10 KDA over the course of his career. Jeez. Adding in these 2 picks, it feels a bit surprising to me as well, because Syndra and Kassadin have felt like mid lane staples, at least over the course of the time that he's been playing the game.
Yeah, he's been playing professionally for, well, this is coming into his 2nd professional year, and it's kind of crazy to think that he hasn't played Syndra and Kassadin before. They've definitely, Syndra 100% has been a very highly contested pick, and just never had the opportunity. I'm guessing that just more comes down to pick and ban, as this is a man who's been shown to play whatever is meta a lot of the time, just to get those micro advantages in matchups.
And I think sometimes as well, it's because he has certain champions he's just so damn good at that even if something else is free, it's like, well, they've left this open. I've got to put the fear of God into them because they've given me LeBlanc. There is something about that. And then obviously we've got the rosters up on screen now, and it is the double support with a couple dives and an Aphelios Burning Core. And I am a little concerned with how much pressure is put on Yuhi. I wasn't all that impressed with him in spring, and this feels like he needs to step up in this game, or this could be real trauma for Once and Rayfarki diving in and having no back.
I mean, I totally agree with you. Yuhi has got basically all the pressure. Once could potentially hard carry this game. We've seen Boogie carry on jungle Echoes before, so there is that opportunity, but it's going to be a lot harder. With Proud on this, Yuumi does help whoever does start pulling ahead, but it does fall on Once, Rayfarki, or Yuhi to pull this game up. Proud can be there for whomever actually is able to step up, but I'm really not sure on this Lulu. Initialize, I want
Yeah.
to get your thoughts. What, Lulu really in this draft? Do you think that was
Lulu?
necessarily the best thing? It gave them options, but
Don't know if I'm. Lulu is becoming more meta. We've seen
yes.
it pop up in some academy leagues and that kind of thing at the minute. And I think Wild Growth with double Cyclone sounds like 3 knockups to me. It sounds like a way to add in a bit more safety on top of Echo, who's got a Chrono Break already. It sounds like another way to perhaps alleviate some of Yuhi's occasional positioning errors.
Sure.
So I'm not that far down, especially like it's also not asking the new guy to be a hard carry, which is potentially not a bad thing versus Arya. So I understand it. We'll have to see whether it plays out. And it's also going to be into the mother of all dive comps. I hope you've got your scorecards ready because I think we're about to witness an Olympic diving competition from CGA there. Like, Call of the Forge Guard, there's a set, there's the Fate's Call, there's a Cassidin, there's Callista who's going to be going in as well. They're just going to want to jump on one person like permanently.
Yeah, and they're going to have so much kill pressure on those those dives that they have are going to be so very, very strong. Yuhi happened to only win their games on Burning Core, playing Aphelios or Miss Fortune. So this is a champion we have seen Yuhi pull out in very well clutch moments. But remember, Burning Court in that spring split only ended up actually picking up 4 wins, or was it 5 wins? I believe it was 5,
I believe.
Yeah,
They were just the 1 game out because that's, remember, it was the 5 game plus the tiebreaker to CGA, which they then lost in fairly convincing fashion to CGA.
Yeah, and they're going to need to start finding those special moments for them to really be able to continue going, because this pressure that is on Yuhi and the rest of the members of Burning Core, because they've got that double support line, is going to be just so much more difficult for them. I mean, I'm hopeful, but I mean, this is Ariana Cassidin, and I just every time I just keep going, oh my god, this is just a match made in heaven.
Yep, that's really true. I also just think like there is something to say that there is a Lulu in mid, and Polymorph is really good versus the cast. And he jumps in, he gets Polymorph, he's like, well, now I'm stuck here. That is a potential option, but you can only polymorph 1 person.
You can.
And if it's a set and Ornn and everyone else diving on top of you as well, you've got 4 to 5 targets that desperately need to be shut down at once. And polymorph, assuming CGA are kind of coordinated, may well not be enough. But that is an answer into the casting. We'll have to see whether that can be used. But Mass 1, we're on to the Rift.
Okay.
And your first match of the summer split. How are you feeling? You ready?
Oh, it's been a while, dude, since I've done any form of casting. It's been a while. I'm excited. It does feel like home. It does feel like home. The LJL does feel like home, and it feels correct that this is where I'm coming back. Nowhere else. The LJL first. Feels about right.
CJ going for that invade that we see onto this Tribro so much, but they've listened to Nymera, Mass One.
Oh, they did.
They put a ward in there rather than standing in the bush. What beautiful innovation this is.
That's amazing. It's like not standing in spots where you can't see your opponents approaching you slowly is a bad place. Twitter seems to believe, agree with us that Crest Gaming Act does have the edge, and this was before the drafting phase, so we're in a pretty good spot. Quick fun fact for you. As we're in the stage where Grendel almost landed a very early hook on Yuhi, which would have probably been half to death at that point, or a summoner. Or a Kalen's probably burnt, actually. But regardless, fun fact, Burning Core on blue side, they've never actually won a game on red side. So they can only win on blue side.
Burning Core, I suppose.
I mean, I'm trying to find a good thing for them, right? I'm trying to find it. AI bot also thinks it's a coin flip. All right, this is going good for Burning Core. They're on the side they win. And the bot thinks that they've got a 50-50. So
that's not a bad start.
Best odds.
Yeah, indeed. That's the way to think about it, isn't it? That's the best odds they've got right now is from the AI stats bot. Level 2 hit by CJ's bot lane first there. They didn't leash for Unica, by the way. It was a leashless start for the set, which meant they did get to be in lane a little earlier, get pressure on that wave. And versus this guy Yuhi, who we have had some questions about. Sounds like CGA have got their early game plan off to a pretty good start. Arya, though, been chunked out a little bit by those glitter lances. So UJ are shoving in nice and early here.
Yeah, I mean, this is just pre-6. Kassadin against a lot of
Yep.
ranged matchups in general. This happens against Cassiopeia. This is just amplified. Though, farming far better. If you look at that CS, it might be getting pushed into him, but already are probably going to be up about 8-9 CS at the end of all of this, which is not how a push wave is meant to go. So Arya definitely showing prowess and knowledge coming from this.
Yeah, I'm guessing what's happening there is that Yu-Gi-Oh is using the glitter lances to poke out Arya, and it's like, of course, by pushing in the wave so aggressively, he's kind of missing some of the CS because he is pushing so aggressively. I mean, it's cost him 5 CS, and a casting that's up in CS at level 4 now, I apologize. That's not a fantastic look. I mean, Once does get a free invade over here onto the red, but onto the red side jungle for the Raptors. That's how we phrase this, Sam. Yep. And Tet's nowhere around to kind of contest that.
No, I mean, clearing the Raptors up, that's fine for Once. It just means they're going to be, well, it's fine actually for Unica because they're going to be stronger next time. Ooh.
Okay. Once is there. He's got a parallel conversion. He's got a speed up. He's like, well, I guess I'll have to leave you with this last mixtape of Krugs going down.
That's the mixtape, is it?
Oh, Hook lands in bot lane. That's pretty good news, but the cleanse out was pretty swiftly done, but it is someone to burn. Bit of a trade back on to Grendel, though. I was expecting a little bit more. I kind of forgot that you had taken cleanse. I was like, oh, no, cleanse stops at that, so never mind. I was getting really excited, Mass One.
I could tell
it was going to be a really cool fight.
I could tell.
Gango, Grendel, going for the fights.
It was when you were like, the Hook landed, I'm like, yeah, but Yuhi's got cleanse, so probably nothing's going to happen. And then he cleansed, I was like, cool. Unica
Thank you for your gentle mockery there.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm
saying
not
and most of his time in Unica's jungle, way to bully the rookie.
Yeah, just bully the I mean, there are 2 rookies in this game, right? There is Unica and there's Yu-Gi-Oh, and like, I mean, if anyone's got it easier, it's Unica, right? Just in every sense. One of you is not against Arya, the other is. So just by default. Granted, the other one isn't against Brayfarki, so I mean, you take the small wins, I guess. You take the small wins.
Yeah, and speaking of Brayfarki, he is up about 10 CS right now, doing pretty well with this Wukong. I mean, Conqueror versus Ornn is, there's definitely room to trade into that. And actually, it's worth pointing out that Nap doesn't have a fabulous win rate on the Ornn. Only about a 33% win rate, 4 and 8 on that champion over across his career. Part of that, of course, is that CGA had a rough spring split. They only just scraped into playoffs and then stepped it up. But even so, that's not a fabulous win rate, Maswap.
Rough spring was the polite way to put it. I see we're being nice at the moment to CGA because they got their first win. So I'll keep it up. I'll
keep it PG.
I'll keep it PG. I think they had an awful spring, frankly, until playoffs. But yeah, no, I mean these champion win rates and some of the stats over on the side of CGA specifically, outside of Arya, everyone looks like they're kind of boosted, but they're not. They're actually very solid players. They just all had a kind of very mediocre spring till the end, and then their playoffs performance are actually stellar stats, relatively speaking. So it's a give and a take, It's a give and take. You can't always have it how you want it.
Yeah, give and take. That's kind of the way to put it. Some credit here to Burning Core early on. Actually, I've been quite impressed with how Once has been counter jungling against CJ. That's another tactic amp he just took away. Left the one popcorn chicken behind just to really irritate Unica and prevent that respawn.
Is that the official name of it when you leave one?
Popcorn chicken. That's exactly it. Oh, it's just it's the little chickens left, the little raptors. That's what they are.
I still remember when it was a Wraith camp.
Oh man, so do I. Wraiths. What was it wasn't Krugs, it was something else then. What was it? Was it?
No, it was just golems.
Golems, that's right. Yeah. And it was the Spirit of the Elder Lizard and
just blue buff. It was just blue buff. It was just always blue buff. And wolves have always been wolves, at least. Like that.
Wolves have always been wolves. That's very true.
That is
the wolf now has a second head, which for whatever reason, because it's super cool that way.
It's cool. And I guess what was Gromp beforehand?
It's a good. Oh, man, it's been such a long time.
Oh, it was Big Wraith.
That was the Big Wraith. That's right. We had Small Wraith and Big Wraith.
Yeah, and then there was that infinite skit there as It was that was Mummy or Daddy Wraith, but then the other Wraith, the other Wraith camp was the small Wraith camp, and baby Wraiths with Mummy Wraith there, and Daddy Wraith had to go off into the other side of the jungle. It was a very big traumatic event. I'll try and find the YouTube video that actually legitimately did a copy pasta of it. It's something special, I'll be honest with you, as we see buffs, both actually objectives going early in favor of CGA. That dragon, that ocean dragon, and now Callista, Gango, picking up the extra
while we were reminiscing, there was a couple objective pickups there, but Yuhi, as a result, does get free time to get a couple plates in the bot side. That's often the trade for when you go for the Herald. The general consensus is if you lose 2 waves and 2 turret plates, that's potentially not worth it for Herald. So you need to be really swift on the take. I mean, I'm aware a lot of the, I believe it was Sven and Double Lift were having that conversation about that sort of a last split. So see whether that's true. CJ do have the Herald. It's on to Gango, actually, interestingly, not Unica who picked that up. So, excuse me, really indexing into giving that player as much as they can in lane, who's actually up about, 20 CS? Well, 15 rather.
15 CS, pretty good place to be sitting at the moment. I mean, we did say when the Aphelios was locked in, we were like, there are a lot of options, and then immediately Gango locked in that Callista, and then you were like, well, yeah, if anyone's going to get priority, it's Gango. It's like, well, they picked themselves into this by the first pick of the Aphelios. Surely they were aware of this? Maybe they just assumed Gango couldn't play the Callista? But then it's not even...
Surely not.
Surely not. Surely you can't play a very actively played champion. No. As Gango's going to be trading those 2 plates, so they're going to get an even trade deficit when it does come to those plates. So it's not going to be the worst. Picking up the first one, actually. It's even more gold for his time. Only over to him as well. Advantage Yuhi. Well, no, advantage Gango, rather, not Yuhi.
Yep, there's the 4th plate coming through. 2 for 4 is pretty good going. You'll take that. Yuhi does finally make his way to the wave of UJ, and CJ will back away before being able to claim first turret, but this bot lane is now pretty low and able to get a hold of. Kassadin, by the way, is level 9 and has not been threatened. He's up a couple hundred gold. There's a pretty significant advantage in the top lane and jungle for Burning Core. Once in particular has really managed to get under Unica's skin early, and Echo farms really well. Has managed to get into the jungle super well. So that's good news for Burning Core. But Gango and Arya have put down either a free lane or a lot of pressure, which is just great news. Look at that gold lead right now for Gango right now, having picked up all those turret plates.
It's going to get even worse when this bot lane of CGI, and I wouldn't be surprised if they eventually start trying to siege this bot lane turret so they can rotate around, get Gango and Grendel into the top lane, and just put Nap into that bot lane and just let Rayfarki have to basically restart everything. It's so hard for Burning Core to actually find an advantage, as CGA just outscale them. They don't have to fight them. So what do they have to do? It all falls on, well, now Wants and Rayfarki to find it, and it's going to be so hard for these 2 men to really find a way into this game for Burning Core, as the rest of the team are just kind of supporting them at the moment.
Right, teleports are coming in, and the second Drake has spawned. Once it's in the pit, he's going to hop back over the wall. They're going to engage onto Grendel, who just goes down for first blood to the Yuumi. That's going to start that one up. The Infernal Drake is attacking CJ. Call of the Forge Gold comes in over a couple of the members of Burning Core, but that is a good start right now for the side of the blue team. Burning Core will move right back over to Infernal Drake and pick that one up. Clean stuff, turning around what was an attempted pincer by CGA.
Can I say it now? Can I
go?
Can I say it? Return to form, Grendel. Return to form. I feel good now. You had a flawless game where you didn't get caught out, and when you did, you were able to get out on that Nautilus. Feels good. Feels good.
Up, by the way.
Oh, I mean, he'd been playing it flawlessly beforehand. It's only a minor mistake, really, that he made. But I mean, it does feel good to at least know CGA haven't fully changed some of their ways. I hope they win this game, like my prediction said earlier. But in that same sense, it feels good to know that some players don't change. As once
Unica's going in, flash in. Once might have gone too deep, but still got the Corona break if he needs it. Thinking about going back in. There it is. Unica does use the lantern to get out. Arya is here going in. That's a rift walk over the wall. Flash for the double flay. Here comes the Fate's Call. This is what we talked about. The engage never ends for CGA. Arya slays Yuhi, but there's some low health balls. Once goes down, and it's a double kill to the Kassadin. Oh, it's a disaster for Burning Core. Gango continues to step forward, and this is a Callista with a 93% presence worldwide, and I'm beginning to see why. Fate's Call with a Kassadin on top of it is just a hell of a drug. 3-0-0 is Arya's Kassadin right now.
This is just such a performance from our MVP of that spring split in the mid lane. Rayfaki did actually try and do his absolute best, went back a little bit, tried to teleport in very early on into that fight, almost seeing how everything was going. However, Nap was able to dive a little bit, knock him up, cancel that teleport down, and that was just flawless performance from all members of CJ. It wouldn't be possible without it. You can see how far up Rayfaki is currently in the lane, walking up with it, immediately sees this coming in. Nap's going to prevent this from happening. Look, he's under turret. He would take turret. It's able to be dislodged, and through that, just the pure numbers advantage and early power that comes from this CJ lineup. Also, just members got deleted so quick. It's so impressive that Gango and Yoshiono didn't actually die there. Gango is able to find it, and then Arya just picks up those kills. Glorious performance. A triple kill for Arya, and this is on a Kassadin. Uh-oh. Is it coming to pass? My question is to you, Initialize.
Oh, yeah, I think it might be. By the way, production just point out, Kassadin had a 7.4 KDA worldwide.
Oh my god.
Like, I think this is a good start for Arya to continue that trend. Burning Core is stepping up to the second Herald here. He's got Calibrum and Crescendo. That's a pretty good combo right now. Teleport's coming in for CJ. They want to fight this. Rayfaki has got himself a Cyclone, thinking about going in. Has he gone taken it yet? There we go. They're in. That's a lot of damage. Burning Core's Yuhi is slaying the set. That's good news, but there's a lot of low health bars. Arya is here now. The Crescendum is stacked, and it's a double for this Aphelios. And once slays the Ornn, and Nap is down for the count. That is a 3-0 in return for Burning Core. And they get the Heralds, and now mid lane is under siege.
This is exactly what I was talking about when I said that there's an opportunity. If Rayfaki was able to get into that fight, that Burning Core would have stood a damn good chance, partly because they would have had a numbers advantage, partly because Rayfaki is just going to be so much of their pick potential at the moment, hasn't even completed any of his first items yet, but Wukong at the moment is just so powerful, gets the double Herald knock, and phenomenally played, and a way back into this game, 3-0 for Burning Core. Can't be saying that there isn't a chance when Burning Core and Rayfaki have anything to say for it. Jeez, look at that damage done by Yuhi, though, in that last team fight.
Yep. Arya wasn't there, but the Dive Brothers are once in Rayfaki, and a free-firing Crescendum stacked Yuhi turns out does quite a lot of damn work there.
This just is the difference, right? When you have when you have a member missing, and they are quite clearly key members of the fights when it comes in. Rayfaki was there for one of them, and Arya was there for the first one, but Rayfaki replies back with the second one, keeping them in this game almost at parity in objectives, gold, dragons, and, well, almost levels across this map. It's rather impressive, actually.
And it's another CGA game where it somehow ended up at an even gold lead after having fights swing back and forth. 16 minutes in, it's a dragon apiece, it's a tower apiece, and it's about 200 gold between these two teams. The only difference right now is that Burning Core have 2 more kills.
Yeah, Burning Core have 2 more kills, though, and however, a lot of the gold currently is sitting on Arya on this Kassadin, and if you're going to stack gold on a champion...
Go as well.
Yeah, this is not a bad place to be stacking a lot of your gold on the side of CGA. Yes, it does mean you need Arya in a lot of the team fights, but it also means Kassadin is getting closer and closer to just this Apex Legends of being unkillable.
Maybe not quite the video game, but that legend of Apex is there. Aria Rift walks kind of into a lot of people. The dive continues, but actually managed to get out. Unica now in a bit of a fight. Gonna use the haymaker, but very, very low. Gango's
Oh my
slain.
god.
Yujo in the backline, though. But wait, Wukong has killed Ari. He dived into his death. Now it's Grendel alone in the front line. Throws down the box, trying to save the rest of his team. But it is right now a 2-for-1 in favor of Burning Core. Yujo is traded, but the jungler and the mid lane are now dead.
Yeah, Unica just kind of... I'm not really sure how to really say that. 2 levels below once in there, so would have been a very aggressive smite at Grendel.
Oh, this could be a bit of danger. He's going for the flash. He's pulling people in. Gango is here. Has got a lot of work. That's a decent knockup by Nap as well. The Sentinel turret is down there, and that's doing a lot of work. Once is here. Has not got his ultimate, but he's still going forwards. Stopwatch down on the bot side, and Yuhi wins the 1v. Well, it's not a 1v1 because there is Rayfarky as well. That was a 1 versus 3, but stays alive.
I almost thought Nap was going to at least pick up one of the kills
did.
there, but unfortunate there. Oh, the once was almost
Once. No, he was... If Gango had walked into that parallel convergence, he would have been a very dead boy.
You know, Boogie would have just gone for it regardless. He would have just flashed in and just said, I'm doing it.
I've got a shield. I've got a shield. It's fine.
I will always land this shield. And if I don't land it, it's my own fault. But, I mean, once a bit more controlled and well aware that a lot of his team's hopes are partly on his shoulders at the moment. So really can't afford to make any unnecessary mistakes. Aria, though, in that last fight, got absolutely destroyed and was out of position. Completely out of position and uncharacteristic from Aria, frankly.
Yeah, positioning pretty aggressively, used the Rift Walk and just found himself in a tricky spot, I find. Does actually mean that Burning Core have found themselves about 1,000 gold lead right now, which is good news for them. And this Echo from once is looking really good. We've seen him on the likes of Lee Sin run over early games and then kind of fall off in kind of efficacy the later the game goes on. He's 2-1-4, has got himself 7 stacks on the Dark Steel, has got himself a Proto Belt, has got himself a few Dark Steel stacks as well, up to 4 already at this point. He's looking pretty damn strong, and with a Yuumi on top of him as well, this Echo is off to the races, man.
I mean, we've seen Echoes do this before, and it does feel really good to see another person in the jungle playing this champion. We didn't see a lot of Echoes in the jungle, only really predominantly from Boogie, as what I'm coming to in the fourth of my head. Maybe you can think of anybody else that really played it a lot?
Pretty much Boogie. We saw a few mid lane Echoes. Galliardo picked it up. We know Seros picks it up occasionally. Of course, Arya has played it as well. So it's been, if anything, it's been a mid lane pick. Boogie was our jungle Echo.
Yoshi,
having once on it as well.
I think Yoshi played it once.
Oh, possibly. Maybe production can find out where that one happened. But the AI is right now suggesting Burning Core have got a 73% chance to win it. That's where they're at in this game right now, and I can kind of see it. They've got 2 Drakes. They've got a really fed Echo. They've got 1,000-odd gold lead. Here comes the call of the Forge God, though. Nap is looking to try and turn this around. Yuhi is knocked up alongside Yujo. Nap goes in for another knockup, but it's under tower. Doesn't get a lot done. Nap is now very, very low. That's the face breaker. Yuhi does kill off the Ornn. They're still diving forwards. Aria running away. Once trying to find his way and gets a lot of damage. There's the final chapter. The Haymaker is going to try and save people's life. It does not. Once kills off the set, but Gango and Grendel do disengage. But it's at the cost of 2 people's life. Nap went deep. Unica stayed behind to save the life of his bot lane. And that means that there is a 10-4 kill lead. There's a dead jungler and a Mass Swan. There is a Baron on the table. And with double support, double shields, and an Infinity Edge on your Aphelios, I think they can do this.
Oh, I definitely think they can do this. It's going to be opportunity, though. CGA don't want to go down without a fight. TP coming in from Nap.
Teleport. Okay, this will be a 5 versus 4. Unica's still not up. Here we go. Nap is coming in. He's got a home guard. He's trying to find something. That hook goes wide. Nap is once again in a lock. That's a massive knockup now. Arya's over the wall, desperately seeing whether he can find something in. But they are disengaging for now. The wild growth was burned onto Yuhi. But actually, the Baron is... They're going to slow with the prowling projectile. But that's about as bit for now. I've actually had a bit of a desync here, so do continue going. I've got to wait for my internet to catch up.
Okay, so we're seeing a huge team fight coming in. Nap getting actually outperformed here. Once getting outkilled, coming in for the fate of the Forge God. Arya's going onto that backline. Once trying to find an angle in, can't find it. We're seeing Gango here aggressively push with Arya onto this mid lane turret. I think they're going to take it if you're back.
I am. They are back. Good work there. That is what we call emergency play-by-play. Nap dies, but so does Yu-Gi-Oh and Yuhi. Well saved by CGA. The Baron doesn't work out. And I'm back. I've got everything all synced back up again. Oh, it was a disaster. I was like, it's going so well. And then there was a grey screen. And I was like, that's unusual. Like, more grey than perhaps the death screen in LoL. But there we go.
Ooh.
We're back. And Arya, as a result of that, is at 5-1, by the way.
Yes, and this is a Kassadin. I hate to keep harping on the same thing and sound like a broken record, but Kassadin is so strong. You said how much of a presence he's been having. He has that, what's the KD? 7.4. Currently, Arya is living up to that kills to death ratio. It's absurd that's coming through. Just this champion is doing so much and is giving CGA so much hope to stay in this game, especially as well. Gango, my god, sir, you are having a game of your life to try and keep this at least stable for your team.
All right, and that's the deal. They are trying to keep it stale. Ray Farkey has done a pretty good job on this Wukong fighting engages. Once his
100%.
echo's been pretty clear. Arya is hunting for the new boy, though. Yu-Gi-Oh taken super low. That's a Seraph's transformation for Arya right now as well. Can't quite find the kill, but forces the flash and the wild growth as the Mountain Drake is spawning. Burning Core desperately wanted this for their third Drake in. It's going to be started up by CGA now. The Arya found such a big chunk, but Yu-Gi-Oh, of course, can teleport right back in. So he's got no flash, no wild growth, but at least has a health bar. Once going in over the back, does find the parallel convergence. Does not get it, though. The Callista steals that away. Unica gets a big shield, goes down, but at least takes people out the back of the fight. There's some low health bars from Burning Core. That's going to be a fairly big chunk.
Oh my god,
Cassie
Arya!
gets the shutdown onto the jungler. And Arya is running rampant. That's a triple right now. He's going to continue chasing. Can he find more? Still on to Ray Farkey. This could be a penta, my friend. He's going to get the monkey. Who gets got? That's not quite that.
Penta!
He's shooting out. He's done it. It's a double. It's the unofficial penta. Took too long. But that is about as damn well played on a casting as you could hope. I'll count that in my heart of hearts. Arya, 10-1-0. It's 12-11 in kills, but CGA off the back of that mountain fight, off the back of forcing the wild growth on the flash of Lulu, crush that team fight around that mountain dragon.
I honestly don't know how to even start with this replay. So, it looks like Callista had a absurd amount of Ren stacks in, so it's pretty straightforward. Unica is able to really push them back once gets forced low, and Ray Farkey already aware that Arya is the problem child and immediately gets them. However, does take down one, then we see two, and now it all falls onto Proud and Ray Farkey, arguably the two members that have been playing out there, sucks this this game so far, but it's all come to pass. I do want to highlight though how good of a game Proud has been having, especially with those final chapters and the Yuumi. He's been all over the place and landing very good summoners as well. But it doesn't matter how good you are if you're not on a champion that can defend themselves against a Kassadin. Look at that damage!
Oh my days. Well, it wasn't so much a Rift walk as a Rift curb stomp. He was just stomping heads in left, right, and center. And he's 10-1-0. He's 3 items. He's got 2 of the biggest scaling items in the game. Once goes in and gets a tower. And he's still pretty strong, right? This Echo is good. But it's got to be versus a level 15 Kassadin. Highest in the game right now by 2 levels at least. He's 5 levels up on Proud.
Yeah, he's 2 levels up on Ray Farkey. Like, Ray Farkey was able to identify early into the last team fight, I need to get rid of Arya and just kind of push them off as much as possible. Arya's coming in for a sneaky TP. He had one triple kill.
Unica's getting in to try and get on Yuhi as well. Does shove in here. That's a big face breaker. Here's Arya. There is the mother of all Forge gods that have been called. And you know what it signals, my friend?
What?
That is probably the end of the game. Look at the death timers. They're not going to quite get to the Nexus, I don't think. But it's going to be with a Baron push about every tower and structure great CGA can get their hands on.
This is just such an absurd game from CGA. They just needed to turn the on switch, and when the on switch came, well, Burning Core began to burn in every avenue. The crests of Gaming Academy, they wanted it all. I'm trying to force the names here, but it's not really working super well, I'll be honest with you. But I do have a fun fact. This is a Nymera fun fact for you on the cast. Would you like to hear it,
tell me.
Initialize?
I would love to hear
Would
it.
love
I'm
to
always a fan of
hear it.
Nightmare fact.
Oh, Nightmare fact number 1.
Nightmare nibbles. Nightmare notes.
Nightmare. I mean, he'd probably want to say uwu somehow. So, but we won't allow that. Obviously,
Yeah,
look at this. Oh, this Forge God is just so clean, back and forth. It's like watching an NBA player just land routine 3 shots, and it's just so good. So, my Nightmare fun fact, or Nyan fact, or I don't know where I'm going with that.
Yeah, okay, continue.
Arya had 1 triple kill and 4 quadras in spring. All right?
Yes.
Right, that seems pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's pretty good, right?
Across the whole of spring, I think that's an okay statistic to have. He has had 4 doubles and 2 triples in just this game alone.
That's pretty absurd. He's 12-1-1 at this point as well. He's got Zonya's paradox courtesy of all as well. Like, this Kassadin is a monstrosity. He's level 16 as well, by the way. So the Rift sprint is up and around, and I think Burning Core are running out of options. I just don't think they can deal with Arya at this point, especially considering he is timing out so many of Burning Core's cooldowns super well. He's just not engaging randomly. He's finding all of the angles, and it's not like he's even the only threat at this point. Like, Gango is really strong. He's 3 items with Blade of the Ruin King and Death Stance as well. Like, this Callista can dance in with impunity.
I do think he has been having a few KSs, especially when Arya was going for that penta that wasn't allowed. That 100% Gango should have definitely had 1 or 2 of those kills. Like, that's the borderline we're at 1-0 and 12. I mean, Grendel's having a phenomenal game outside of that, of me reliving spring moments, has basically gone on and never died again. Which is kind of insane because of the spots they have been finding themselves in.
Exactly. That's just it, isn't it? And you know why we don't trust Nightmare Facts?
Why?
My swamp.
Why do we not trust that?
He just corrected himself. It's not 4 doubles in this game. It's just the 1. It's 4 in all of spring. But he's putting capital letters. He's big sorry. He should be big sorry.
I can forgive him. I can forgive him. Well, you are his older brother, so you're not meant to. No. You're not meant to.
I hold on to these forever and ever and traumatize.
As you should. I have siblings where I'm pretty sure the second I see them, I would immediately hold some grudge over something for no reason. But
this is an exact reason. This is LJL. This is professional casting here. He fed us wrong information, but can never be forgiven.
But initialize. You know what I was talking about earlier with Arya and hitting that 16? Well, he's past that. He's 17 now.
Oh no, he's got a void staff as well.
Fully done void staff and an upgraded Zonya, which I can't remember the name of.
Paradox.
Thank you, sir. This Kassadin Arya, frankly, could almost 3v1 at this point and probably wouldn't die.
He's got a second stopwatch in inventory as well. He got double golden. Yeah, he can 1v1. There's the polymorph. It doesn't matter. It's there for a second. He gets healed up. A lot of HP. Arya is desperately low. Second golden moment for Arya, but I don't know if he can survive long enough. He's buying time. But this is a massive shutdown onto that Kassadin. CGA, as we're praising them, do CGA thing. Apperman is one man. CGA do it as a team.
Where are you going? You're losing your base.
This feels like, they still need the base. They're going to try and rush Baron, perhaps. They think they can hold it. Burning Core have made a call. That's a big hook. They can't get to the base. They're just going to start this Baron. They've got a lot of heals, a lot of shields. They chase CGA out the base after probably they thought they were playing World of Warcraft Classic, buddy, because that felt like Leroy Jenkins, and Gango flashes in. This one's looking a little bit more stylish, and Gango might be punishing this attempted Baron start. We're looking at what's going up. This is a bold call by Burning Core. CGO still shoving in. Arya will have teleport in 10 seconds. He's nearly up. Can they finish this Baron and get back? Burning Core desperately need this if they want to have a hold in. Once is actually backed. He's not stayed around. This Baron's at 3,000 HP. The teleport is coming in. It's a 4 versus 2 in the base. The turret's gone down. I think Arya's going in. Look at the damage he's putting up. Unica's going to be here. There's no smite. The Baron's going to have to pull off, and Unica's just going to continue pushing. They're going to have just leashed the Baron over the course of 3 minutes. The Crab Rave, the Sad Present, the second teleport. What is these final moments of this game? The turret is Oh man, the mid lane inhibitor turret finally falls, and I am in both disbelief and out of breath.
This was just so many things that happened. No one could make a decisive call. No one wanted to truly make it. Yuhi decided to give up on it and not pay for the sins of going for it for almost a full minute, and then decided to back off when it was at 1.7k and they don't have vision of Unica. So I'm really so many things just happened, but Arya is one of the steadfast truths, as is Gango. Gango will not die, and Arya will find ways to just rip open a game, even when Yuhi and Proud are able to kill him, basically.
Yeah. Mid lane inhibitor now under Sage. Baron buff kindly leashed by Yuhi and Proud. I liked the call. It was bold. It might have got them an advantage, but now it's just given CGA all the tools to siege onto this final Nexus turret. Burning Core have one last fight. Can they find it? They're trying to find something. Arya's around at the side. Rayfaki can't find a way and still level 50, no level 3 ultimate. That last tower is down around the Nexus. It's exposed. There are inhibitors open. That's a big knockup. UJ is getting forced away. Once is getting shut down in the backline, and he's killed by Gango. The fight continues. Arya's gone gold and gets a huge chunk in, and the Nexus falls. CGA win this game in one of the most ridiculous series of plays I've seen at the end of the game in a long, long time.
That was just beautifully played by CGA, but it wasn't the cleanest way. Burning Core definitely have opportunities, but we've got thoughts, and I'm not going to release too many more of those initially. Are we? We're going to keep them to ourselves.
We are not, because we're going on a quick break so we can collate them all, gather back with our producer, and bring you the finest post-game in the industry. Stick around and we'll talk about it later.
We're back in some form or other. I'm not sure if we left our souls behind on the rift because they were absolutely screamed out of the throats of the two casters here. And one of the reasons for that was this Baron bluff. It's not a Baron buff in all cases, but then when we had Burning Core coming up to 2-man, the Baron there with the Ophelos and the Yuumi, things all went to crap. The game was already kind of falling off the cliff at that point, but what happened there, guys?
I mean, that was a call. Like Initial I said, that was a call that they made to go and do that Baron. I'm assuming Yuhi and Proud that they were just going to do 3 times the damage, right? They have to be assuming they're going to do twice. I'm assuming they thought they had Ezreal, Yuumi, Baron, late Baron kill potential, which is like really, really fast actually. But Aphelios, with his recent nerfs and everything else, clearly doesn't have what he used to have, and
I tell you what wasn't helping. You know that Baron, when it hits someone, the last person it hits does 50% damage to the Baron, and Proud not hop off and tank Baron, so the Aphelios was doing very little damage.
That's true.
That's worth pointing out. The other thing,
Yeah.
actually, is that they'd called once up to come and help secure the end of the Baron twice. He recalled the second time because CGA were sieging Nexus turrets and had taken one down. So that they actually once had to panic back to prevent CGA ending the game, and then Unica respawns, drops over the back of the wall, and they have to leave it. So it's not like they weren't trying to bring other people in. It just wasn't in time. And it ended up like, I appreciate the call, especially because CGA had started running over the game once, that casting hit 10-1, 12-2.
Yeah.
It was looking
And,
bad.
So, but going back to once actually, because you mentioned him in regards to that Baron play, you had some pretty kind words for that jungler. He had pretty good early game, don't you think, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, he spent most of that early game in Unica's jungle. Unica had, he was on set and eventually found just usefulness from the champion. But there were multiple Raptor, multiple Grumps, multiple Krugs, where he was up 2 levels for large periods of that game, was up 30, 40 CS, was getting kills. Got a lot of the early objectives. It was looking really good for that jungler.
It was indeed, but of course, there's an elephant in the room. It's not an elephant. It's a man. It's a man with the powers of the void. It is the Kassadin. Arya, over to you. That's it. I don't need to preface it anymore. Over to you.
When they locked it in, I was excited. When we got the notes from production, yourself and Nymera, that this is the first time Arya has brought it out, me and Initial Eyes were slightly skeptical, I think, in the champ select, loading into the game, where we were like, well, he can play everything, right? He's already shown us the Syndra. He's doing this repeat. He did this at the beginning of spring. He's doing it again in summer. He wants to show as many champions as possible. And I said 16 would be the important part for this Kassadin. I was wrong. I forgot who I was talking about and realized that basically come 6, Arya would be everywhere and anywhere. Basically, once he was 10, he started doing that. So I was a little bit wrong, but a little bit by 6 levels, I think, is forgivable when it's Arya on the table, really.
And speaking of Arya and that casting, of course, we did point out during the game, in spring, Arya, across all games, so this is just regular split, not the playoffs, he had 2 quadras, 1 triple kill, and 4 doubles. In this game alone, Arya had 3 triple kills and 3 double kills. What an absurd performance. Of course, we don't want to just talk about this guy as much as he is very good, though. On the side of Burning Core, we talked about once. You also wanted to talk about Yuhi.
Yeah, I mean, bit of credit there for the bot laner off kind of year for him. He's not necessarily had the easiest time of it. Sorry, my camera just died on me briefly. I'm back again. But he had a much better game this time around. He had a lot of support. Lulu and Ayumi is a great way to keep you alive, but he's putting out good damage. It was a great find around the Rift in particular, where he did a lot of work, forced a lot of people back, was surviving a lot of people diving onto him, and credit due where credit is due. This was a big step up from the man who I had questions about.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that Yuhi had only won on 2 champions this spring, and that was Misfortune and Aphelios. They found no success elsewhere. And speaking of the MF and the Aphelios, this is a team which is crushed around certain picks. We'll finish off on just like, how random was this champion select? We saw a lot of different stuff here, which we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I mean, first off, we saw a Lulu mid, new to the LJL, not new to League of Legends by any stretch of the imagination. We've been seeing it since this champion debuted way back when I was a young whippersnapper to this game. Before your times, I believe, actually.
Yeah, I remember Lulu mid in season 4. That was bad, but yeah, go on.
She's been played in many lanes, and Lulu mid is not new, but Lulu mid, well, not what we were expecting, really. I will be honest. I wasn't expecting to see the champion. We almost saw a Janna coming in for Burning Core as well, which I was excited about before I think they made the correct switch. I think is fair.
Yeah. So anyway, that's all we've got time for on this little post game because there's so much to talk about and so little time to explore the wonders of crazy team fights and crazy players. Speaking of those crazy team fights, crazy players, we're going to be seeing Burning Court take the Rift very shortly after this, and they'll be up against V3 Esports for their second game of the day. Stick around.